So Microsoft is now begging you, please stop using Windows XP. Are you one of the people still using it? Well, listen up. The operating system is 12 years old, but it's still being used on almost a third of computers connected to the internet. And in just a few days, Microsoft says it will no longer support XP. That means no security updates, which could make your computer more vulnerable to viruses and malware. So we wanted to know just how serious this threat is. So we are bringing in our tech expert, Brett Larson. Brett, good to see you. Good morning to you. You know, if I keep using XP on my home computer, are there serious risks here, or is this a lot of hype?
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, you pointed it out already. It's a 12-year-old operating system. It came out in 2001. There have been many wonderful versions of Windows to come along since XP that you should be updated to. And it makes sense why Microsoft wants to do this. In terms of how vulnerable you are, I actually think this is a legitimate threat. I mean, we have to remember that Windows, the operating system Windows, is on the majority of the world's computers. So that means the majority of the world's hackers and evildoers or the people who write this malware and write viruses and things like that for your computer are definitely going to try and target you in these situations.
Target you, but can they target businesses? You know, one of the worrisome things that I'm hearing is that many bank ATMs use XP. That could be a huge threat.
Which is really bad. I mean, that even came as a surprise to me that they're using just an operating system that's off the shelf. Generally, for those mission-critical computers, things like power stations, things like ATMs, things like hospital computers, those tend to run on proprietary things that you can't go down to a Best Buy and pick up off the shelf, which keeps them a little harder and away from hackers, keeps them away from hackers. But that is definitely a problem that businesses are going to have to address very quickly, that they're going to have to get people off of XP and to the newer versions of Windows or to other operating systems, to the Unix, to the Linux, to the Mac OSs of the world that are more stable and more reliable.
And it'll be interesting to see if they stay with Microsoft if they do switch. You know, Microsoft is offering some incentives to buy hardware, but why not just offer an upgraded operating system? Wouldn't that sort of ease people into this and make them not as shy to go for it?
It definitely would be the easiest path, the easiest way to transition people. The problem is the hardware. As these operating systems get better and faster, and they have transparent windows, and they do all these whiz-bang things where, you know, when you minimize something, it does a Gini effect, or that you can see through windows when it's not important as another window. That takes a lot of processing power. So just offering an upgrade could potentially make your computer seem so painfully slow that you would not be happy about it, because all of a sudden it would just come to a grinding halt.
Especially these days when we want everything now.
Exactly,
right? I mean, that'd be like,
exactly.
no. So you're saying it's worth spending the money, not worth taking the risk.
It is absolutely worth spending the money. We've had 12 years of development underway since Windows XP. Windows XP is a great operating system. It was one of the first from Microsoft that just wasn't prone to crashing as often as Windows 95 and Windows 98 prior to it. But since then, we've had a couple of bad versions of Windows, but there are definitely some good versions and great things that new computers can do.
Well, some great advice from you. Brett Larson, thanks so much for waking up early with us. Good to see you. You have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too.
And so we want to tell you a little bit about some of these incentives that Microsoft will be offering. There's a $50 gift card to buy a new PC in the Microsoft online store. There's a $100 discount on some tablets, laptops, and desktops. It's also throwing in 90 days of technical support and free data transfer to your new computer.